Hello, everyone. Welcome to Consciousness is Sexy. I'm your host, Patty Alfonso. Catherine and I are like, okay, internet ease, internet ease. um, anyway, my special guest today is Catherine McIntosh. I am super, super excited for this take two. We did this a couple of weeks ago and the live show went great. And then when we went to convert to put it on YouTube, it came up without sound, which was very interesting. So here we are with take two, Catherine McIntosh, getting out of judgment, getting out of judging your body. And she's the creator of the No Judgment Diet. She is an amazing, intuitive, brilliant facilitator. I am so grateful to have this woman in my life. She contributes to me every day, beyond, beyond, beyond. So I'm so grateful. We've actually just come back from a couple of weeks in Dubai and Cairo, which was another amazing, life-changing experience for both of us, I think. And it was super fun. And I love Dubai. It is so kind to my body to be there. And Cairo is a little bit intense, but we took a day trip to Oman, which, if you don't know, is a country in the Middle East. I didn't know that. And that country was also really generative and such a contribution to my body. Like the space and the peace there was absolutely amazing. So I'm super excited to have Catherine here. Let's just go ahead and jump right in. Catherine, do you want to say hi? Tell everyone a little bit about you. And let's just get started.
Awesome. I have my sexy lounge singer voice on.
Yes.
Because being in Dubai, and I love that we talked about this, it's like the body goes through changes so much all the time. So I'm super excited to be here. I know Dubai completely and Cairo completely changed my universe. And yeah, I'm excited to be here.
How does it get better? For everyone who's watching us live, if you'd like to ask any questions, you can scroll down a little bit to the bottom and put in your questions there, and I'll keep an eye on that, and we'll answer your questions live. So, Catherine, will you tell us a little bit about your story and how you came to where you are today? And I would love to talk about the No Judgment Diet and what that is. I know that you're offering our viewers a free video series, which you guys can see to the right of your screen, I think. But I'd love to hear about how the No Judgment Diet came about and what that is.
Yeah, it's so interesting. So, I had struggled with my body image, with my weight, with my self-esteem pretty much my whole life. It sort of got activated at 15. And I went down this rabbit hole of 20 years of obsessing about, did I eat enough food? Did I eat too much? Do I need to exercise for 3 hours? Do I need to go to the gym for 4 hours? And that became my normal way of living in my body. And I didn't think that there was anything wrong with that. That just seemed like, oh, well, that's what you do. You wake up and you obsess about how many calories are in this and how many things are in that. And, and then also eat according to a pyramid, or eat according to what my parents said were healthy for me, or eat according to what someone else said. And what happened is, one day in my 30s, I was a brand new mom with a 2-month-old, Mr. Duke Jackson, and I was having that all too familiar conversation with myself in the mirror, and I was like, wait a second, I just had a baby. I just went through 10 months of carrying a baby and nursing a baby and birthing a baby, and I'm complaining about that I can't fit in my skinny jeans. And so I looked over at him. I had spent 5 minutes just judging. I looked over at him and I was like, holy crap. Here he was, Mom, you're the most amazing, alive, awake, aware. And I'm like, wait. Aha, a light bulb moment. And I was like, if I just spent 5 minutes missing out on receiving that, where else in the 20 years of my obsession about body, food, following somebody else's formula, where else have I been missing out on my life? And I'll say this one last thing. So I went on this No Judgment Diet for a year for myself. And what happened amazed me. because what I saw is that when I stopped obsessing about judgments that weren't real, about not following my awareness, then I was able to follow my awareness to create a lifestyle, to create a business, to create money, to create a body, to create all these things that I was like, wait, all it took was to stop one thing, which was judgment. And I had no idea how big of a possibility this was for other people, right? So that's my story.
I love that story for so many reasons. But the one thing that really strikes me with that is, the way that your son was looking at you and seeing yourself in that moment through his eyes of having no judgment for you, and what that sort of created in your universe and what that, catapulted. I mean, now how many years later, you're launching this, I think, amazing program, which when I perceive the energy of the No Judgment Diet, it's so huge and can be applied to so many different areas of your life. And that is the thing, like, to not have any judgment about you, about your body, like what would be possible? What would be available if we just stopped judging ourselves? And I know that I've heard Dain talk about, like, when he started really creating in his life, it was that moment where he was like, I'm not going to judge myself anymore. Like, I'm done. And then his life really started to expand and grow and create. And so, yeah, I love that story. And so let's talk about the ways in which we do judge our bodies, because maybe there's people watching here who have never done access consciousness. And I know when I first started hearing that, like, judgment, what is that? What do you mean by that? So can you talk about judging bodies? Like, what does it look like? How does that show up? And what does that create for people?
I love that question. So, like, for me, judgment is just a point of view that I've decided that I'm solidifying as a right point of view. So an example of because judgments can be positive and or negative, right? So strawberries would be an example. Like the positive judgment that strawberries are good for your body, right? That's a conclusion. Seriously, right?
Totally. I don't like strawberries. My body doesn't like strawberries.
My body's hate strawberries, but I was muscle testing in front of a 50-person class, showing them, like, oh, I'll show you how to muscle test, not using the tools of access, but for people who really struggle with really seeing light and heavy in their body, there are some other tools that are offered. And you're right, like the program, the 4-part video series, I mean, you guys, it's 2 hours long. It's 20 years of research, of studying the body, of studying the systems, of studying the psychology, of studying food, of studying the blood, and working on bodies. And I'm giving it away for free, and I know I'm a little insane, but like, if at all it speaks to you, Patty is saying it's an incredible 4-part video series. I'm super proud of it. And I guarantee you will have at least 1, if not 2 or 3 ahas about changing your perspective about your body. So the judgment piece is, it's like anywhere where you think you're right about what's true for your body. Like, it could be, oh, I'm too fat, or, oh, I'm not cute enough. And it's like, that's a judgment. What if, when somebody sees you through the window of no judgment, they don't see what you see, right? And so here's opportunity to be like, hi. No, don't talk to me. Don't look at me. Don't touch me. So really, the No Judgment Diet, not just for the body, but for the life, it's everywhere where you create a conclusion or a solidified point of view that you're right about the point of view you have, which destroys choice.
Everything. It destroys choice. It destroys possibilities. It cuts off the energy of receiving in every single area of your life. And so when you gave up judgment for that year, when you did this for you, what did that create for you and for your life? I know you said you were able to create this, your business and your life. So what did that create? Yeah, that's my question. What did that create for you?
Well, it created this trust in me that I could create anything at any time. And I don't think a lot of people's story, but when Duke, my son, was 2 weeks old, my husband had quit his job. So here I am, a single mom. The plan is to be a nursing mom, stay at home for a year. And we have no income, no stability, no like future plan. And I'm like, I'm nursing a 2-week-old and we don't have any money coming in. Like my universe went like, and so it was this wake up moment that when I started to get out of judgment, I had all this space for go there, go talk to this person, call this person. And I built a multiple 6-figure business in less than 10 months, not like, and like, cause I'm like, I want 7 figures and 8 figures. It's not about the money. It's about creating from the space of choice. Right. And so what happened is when I got out of judging everything, judging that I didn't like my skinny jeans, judging that I didn't like somebody I was sitting next to, judging whatever it was, right? Then all of a sudden this space and awareness and choice and possibility in my body started to buzz. I lost 20 pounds without trying. I, traveled the world with my son and my husband. I mean, just all of this space opened up. And the beauty about it, Patty, is that, and I know you know this because we've talked about it, is when you get out of judgment, there is no force needed in creation.
Totally.
Right? Judgment is like, so.
Totally. And also, like, we talk a lot in Access about how your point of view creates your reality. So if your point of view is littered with judgments and the heaviness of that and the lack of possibilities in that, then what is that creating for your reality? So literally, like the no judgment diet, like instead of going on a diet about what you should and shouldn't eat and what you should and shouldn't do, going on a diet and just letting go of judgment completely. I mean, if you guys could for a minute, like just perceive the energy of what that would create for you in your life. Like if you woke up and there was nothing wrong and you knew that you couldn't fail and you just let go of all of that crap that isn't even real, what could you create for your life? And when we apply this to our bodies as well, our point of view creates our reality with our bodies. So if you're constantly impelling, negative judgments onto your body, like I don't like my thighs, or my belly's not tone enough, or I need to work out my arms more, or I'm, when I eat this pizza, it's going to go straight to my thighs. Like that's an interesting point of view. What if you could eat that pizza and truly enjoy it and allow it to contribute to your body? So that's kind of like my 2 cents on your point of view creates your reality with your body. And so in this 4-part video series, can you give us like a nugget of one thing in the video series that you could just kind of give us right now so that we have an idea of what to expect when we're watching it?
Yeah. I mean, it's really cool because you just actually stole that, not stole. That's part of video 2 is your point of view creates your reality, right?
Oh, so I gave it away. I'm in the future.
You gave it. No, it's good. But what's really cool and the feedback that I'm getting on this video series is I talk about the psychology underneath. So not buying psychology is real, but there is this like, so every judgment you have can create cancer, can create dis-ease, can create cellulite, can create maintaining weight on the body, can create wrinkles, can create aging. And I really dive into, including Access, this idea of why do so many diets fail? Why do so many people wake up in the morning depressed? Why is there this underlying beat of we need to have an external solution for an internal possibility, right? And so really the no judgment diet, and sort of the theme in all 4 videos is for an external solution. It's not to say that I go on cleanses, I change my food habits all the time. It's not to avoid diets or to say diets are bad. It's to use diet from internal knowing, not from, oh, this said it will fix me. or I'll feel better.
Mm. You know what's coming up for me as you talk about that? I'm like, what if we could apply the no judgment diet to our current political situation? Like, what would that create? And this is what I love about this particular program. Like for me, and I've done the program with you in the past, and we've talked a little bit about the program as you've been developing it. And for me, it's like, how can I apply the no judgment diet to my business? How can I apply the no judgment diet to my relationships? How can I apply it to like every single area of my life? And for some reason, it just kind of popped up when you were talking about like, wow, what if we weren't judging what was going on? What could we create with everything that's happening in the US and throughout the entire world? So I tend to have like a really big vision of things. So yes, start with your body and loving the skin you're in, and what else is possible? What else could be available? Let me check in. Go ahead, honey.
Yeah, just like that's it. It's such a bigger, you start with the body because 90, my idea was like it's a sneak attack, right? Because most people really outwardly, if you ask them if they'd like to change something about their body, about their appearance, about their image, probably 99.99999% of people would come up with a laundry list of things that they'd like to change. And so the body is the sort of the most obvious place of judgment, and relationship and communication and sex and orgasm and business and penis size. And I mean, like all of it, like we don't even realize how much that, and one of the things I say in the videos is the average person spends 4 to 8 hours a day judging themselves. And we don't even know it. Somebody compliments you, you dismiss the compliment, that's a judgment. Right? You're sitting there working at your computer, you start worrying about your money flows, that's a judgment. You start thinking about, oh shoot, I really shouldn't have said that to that person, or I should write this to this person. A lot of those come across as judgments. So imagine if planet had an extra 4 to 8 hours a day for their genius. Right? Because when we're in judgment, we are dismissing our genius. We're not paying attention to it. We're not even aware of it, or maybe we're aware of it, but we keep stuffing it because we're trying to get rid of the judgments first, so then we can go forward with the awareness. And really the sneak attack is no, follow your awareness first. Those judgments are always going to come in. My favorite saying, and going on my tangent, but my favorite saying is if you can't stop a thought, the thought isn't yours, right? We know in Access, the tool, who does it belong to? But if you keep going back to the story of, body image, self-esteem, you'll never be good enough, or depression and you don't know how to fix it, and it like you are more potent, more alive, or raw, right, than any other being on the planet, and therefore you can stop your own thoughts. You should be able to stop every thought that isn't yours. But if you can't stop thoughts that aren't yours.
Wow. Can I tell you you've said this to me before, and I think that you talked about this in one of your speeches in Dubai. And for some reason, it's landing in a completely different way right now. And that is so freaking potent. Like if you can't stop the thought, because I mean, I sometimes get stuck and loop and whatever. And then I call you and you're like, is it yours? And I'm like, oh, okay. But that thing of like, if you can't stop it, then it's not yours. And what stories are you creating around that thought that doesn't even belong to you? What judgments are you creating around that thought that isn't even yours? That's awesome. I freaking love that.
I spent 20 years and over $200,000 on trying to fix my body self-esteem image that was never mine in the first place. And so when we go to therapy, 99% of the time, I have a psychology background and I watch this, which is why I'm no longer doing it, is I watch people literally spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars processing crap that was never theirs in the first place. And they'd come back in with the same old story and it wouldn't change because it wasn't theirs. So yeah, when you get it, you're like, oh.
And it's like it's one of those things that that is so not taught in this reality that sometimes it just takes a while, and sometimes you have to get it over and over and over again. And I think that's one of those things for me. It's just like continuing to remind myself of that. Hey, if it's not yours, there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to be present and aware with it. I wanted to chat a little bit about the diet industry. And we sort of touched on this a little bit in the beginning of the call about all of these rules that someone has created as that being like the thing to do for your body. Like, this is the right thing to do for your body. This is what you have to do in order to lose weight or to feel better or whatnot. And what's my question here? Or maybe you have a question already. Well, what I was thinking about is, like, I'm staying with my sister at the moment, and she really wants to lose weight. And she's been looking at me and she's like, oh, well, if I just eat whatever you're eating, then maybe I'll lose weight. And I was like, well, and I said to her, I was like, well, Nellie, it's not really so much what I'm eating, is that I don't have the judgment or the point of view that what I'm eating is going to make me fat, or that what I'm eating is going to create this particular result. Like, I literally just ask my body and then choose and then enjoy it. And that's what creates my body. And so I'm aware that this is a really different kind of conversation. And I'm wondering if you could, Catherine, talk about how that shows up in the no judgment diet and what that is. If you have other words to share about that.
Well, and it's so interesting because I've been doing research for years on the diet industry. I am a prodigy of a yo-yo dieting junkie. And so the diet industry just in 2014 was $64 billion. Less than 5% of people who go on diets are actually maintain the weight loss for more than a couple of years. That just in 2014, something like $62 billion were spent on diets and false promises and all this stuff, and it didn't go anywhere except into the diet industry's pockets. So when I poked around with the diet industry, what I saw is the majority of diets, and the famous ones, the ones that like everybody says it's the great diet, they're actually designed to get you to not have your awareness so that you keep coming back to the diet. I found that out. I was like, oh my God, every diet is, hey, half a cup of vegetables and then a cup of peas and then 5 ounces of lean protein. And I did that. I did those diets and I gained fat. I didn't get skinnier. I was working my ass off, like working out, and I almost always gained weight. And so what I've discovered is the diet industry literally is programmed to get you to cut off your awareness so you'll keep rolling on the hamster wheel. And to me, and the obesity industry is a $213 billion industry, which is insanity. So the moral of the story is, if diets were to invite people to trust their knowing, to, yes, eat a half a cup of peas if your body wants it, eat 5 ounces of lean protein if your body wants it, but don't judge it. Right? So if you judge when you're eating the quote unquote right foods that it's supposed to have the effect of you losing weight, that's a judgment, not an awareness.
Wow.
Right? Because it cuts off body what would be nurturing for you. Instead of, my doctor told me I need to eat, I grew up with a mother who was like, well, the doctor said 5 servings of vegetables, 2 potatoes, 6 ounces of beef. And I'm like, oh my God, like literally it was like every meal was calculated based on what the food pyramid of the US said about the foods you should eat.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting about that too is that it changes. You know, like one year whole milk is the best thing for you, and the next year, you know, skim milk is the best thing for you, or eating a whole egg or just the egg whites. Like it keeps changing. And when you look at, for example, you know, like I think rice here in the US is a big no-no. Like it's a carb and it's white and whatever that is. But when you go to Japan, and that's most of their consumption is rice, and they're all, you know, thin or whatever. Anyway, it's all a very, very interesting conversation. And I'm going to gather that in your 4-part video series, you may have some tools to invite people to choose more awareness with their bodies. Is that accurate?
Yeah. So cute. Yeah. And it really is as simple as, what if I had no point of view about everything I put in my body, but I asked, like, so when we got back from Dubai, I got sick. I haven't been sick in forever. I mean, my kidneys hurt, my body hurts, you know, whatever, rolling out of bed. And I asked my body, do you want this medicine or this medicine? And I was about to put in my mouth the medicine my body didn't want. And I went, oh, let me test it. And I tend to stand upright, and then just to lean forward is yes, to lean backward is a no when I ask my body. And I grabbed this other medicine. Now, if that's what caused even more sickness, I'm not sure. But it's like everything that we choose, just like in a relationship. When you're in a relationship with someone, you want them to ask you questions. You want them to say, hey, where would you like to eat tonight? What movie do you want to go to? Hey, what would be really nurturing for your body tonight? Can I give you a massage? Would your body like that? How about your hand? Like, so it's no fun to be in a relationship with someone who's constantly delivering demands about what you should do, how you should show up, who. And so our bodies are the same way. And we've talked about this, right? It's like, no, body, like, how do you want to move? How do you want to express your sensuality? How do you want to, you know, when we were on stage in Dubai, it's like, all right, body, what energy do you need to be for everybody to really receive the information we're delivering? So
totally. And I love that analogy of, you know, if your body was your best friend, you know, the way that you're treating your body right now, would they stick around being your best friend? And treating your body as your best friend, and inviting them into the conversation of your life, inviting them into the creation of your life. And this is one of the things that, with the tools of Access Consciousness, that was introduced into my universe that I had never found anywhere else. And it was literally that straight up communication, straight up communion with your body, literally including your body in everything that has to do with your body. So how does it get better than that? You know, we're coming to the end here. I don't think we have any questions live at the moment. Any last thoughts on this? Again, I'd like to invite everyone to just grab that 4-part video series. It's free. I've watched it. It's 2 hours long, which maybe sounds like a lot, but it's broken up into short pieces, and there's tons of information. And for me, like I always ask, what would the world be like if we got out of complete judgment with our bodies? Like, what could we create then? So Catherine, do you have any last minute words that you'd like to share with our viewers today and in the future?
I mean, the biggest thing is that I look at is like, your body is not the problem. Your body never was the problem. You are not the problem. It's the way that you were taught to cut off your awareness that actually is the problem. And when you are committed to getting back in awareness and curiosity, just like going on a first date, right? Then your body can start to gift you that aliveness, that like, woohoo, right? And so for anyone listening who has struggled with their body and feels like, ugh, I can't get it right. I've never been able to get it right. This 4-part video series, I made it for you specifically, and only because I know, because I was there for 20 years, I spent in rabbit hole hell of judgment. So Yeah, if it speaks to you, just download the videos.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Catherine. I'm kind of losing my light here. It's been daylight savings time, but thank you for coming on again and playing with me and having this conversation with me. I freaking adore you and I adore your creation. And I know that the No Judgment Diet is revolutionary and you've created something here that didn't exist before. And I'm getting chills as I say it. So I'm so grateful for that. And I'm so proud to be sharing that with everyone who watches the show and man, take advantage of it, you know? So anyway, thank you everyone for watching live and in the future. We adore all of you. I wonder where else in the world we can play. Thanks again, Catherine, whatever that is. Have fun for the rest of the evening wherever you are, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. Bye.